Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Byington, and we've been talking about the first two parts of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This video is going to particularly cover part three. So, the largest theme of part three's content would be the pursuit of Gawain that the lady of the castle is making, and how that juxtaposes to what is going on outside the castle with the imagery of the hunt. So, I only kind of made points about the first instance of that, but it does happen three times. So, in these lines marked in the second bullet point, you have the lady's first pursuit of Gawain. And it tells you at the beginning of that section, like he hears her sneak into his bedroom in the morning. And this is all happening after the opening of part three is describing the Lord of the Castle going out early in the morning with his crew on the hunt. So while the cat's away, the mouse will play kind of thing. The wife, the lady of the castle, sneaks into Gawain's room and he hears her and he hears this like sneaky snake. Somebody's tiptoeing around, creeping into my bedroom, and then it's her. It says she kind of comes between the curtains. You have slightly different descriptions of that in different translations. This would be like if you've ever seen in a movie, a cartoon, whatever, this sort of four post bed with the high the high four posts that make a canopy, but it also has the curtains that go around or block the three sides of the bed. So the at the foot of the bed, and then on the left and the right. So she kind of like pokes her head in the curtain, basically. It's like, you up? LOL. Because she is blatantly flirting with him. She's laying it on thick. And the first time, she just really presses him to let her give him a kiss. It doesn't go any further than that the first time. Now, along with that scene, you have in my next bullet point the first hunt. You might say this is not just the hunt, this is the kill. That might be important to point out because if you're saying it's that the hunt and the pursuit are these are certainly parallels here, metaphorically speaking. Someone might say like they want to chase someone they're interested in dating or being with in one way or another. Um, that chase is like a hunt. It is a type of pursuit. But in this imagery of the literal hunt that it involves, what the Lord of the Castle is doing outside, we have not just the hunt, but the animal, whatever it is. So the first time it's a deer, or it's deer plural. There's more than one. Um, we have an actual kill, and then you have this like really grotesque, like graphic description of the field dressing and butchering of the animals, right? It talks about like pulling out their insides and peeling the skin off of the muscle, chopping off their legs. I mean, this sounds really gross, and sometimes students are like, why is that even in there? That's disturbing. Well, I mean, it might be to you now, but this is also where your chicken nuggets come from. So, this would have been an everyday part of life until let's say like the 20th century in the Western world, because at one way or another, people had to get their food like this, and maybe even if they bought it at a market, let's say it's chickens, might be just killed there on the spot for purchase, or you have dead chickens or turkeys or whatever just hanging there by their feet for purchase, and you have to pluck the feathers and do that all that other stuff that's described, chopping off the legs and the neck and all that graphic stuff. So that goes on for a pretty lengthy amount of time in this section with the deer and then the boar and then the fox, the three different animals that are hunted and killed in this section. Now, the second instance of the lady sneaking into Gawain's room. So it's another morning. It's a different morning. The Lord of the Castle is going out on the hunt again. That time they are pursuing boar. Um, but this time there's a kind of lengthy conversation between the lady of the castle and Gawain. She's like, "Well, I want to know why you won't just lay it on me. Like, why will you not just kiss me?" Because like the first time, she asked him if she can kiss him. She wants him to like have his way with her, and he doesn't do it because he's Sir Gawain. He's a knight of the round table. This is chivalry. And this is also a good time to point out that in all this reputation talk about Gawain that goes on throughout each section, really, of this story, but in particular, part one and now in part three, she tries to talk to him about his reputation, approximately lines about 1290, around 1295. Um, she wants to know why he doesn't just do it, and he says that he can't for those reasons. That's chivalry. And chivalry is not just like the holding the door open for the pretty lady or whoever happens to be coming through, like being a good person, like all those, the 5 by 5 principles and characteristics of Gawain that were discussed in part two. Chivalry, in formal terms, discussing medieval romances, is about an emotional affair. So people had these, and this is frequently the type of affair, romance, love story that is going on when you're reading about them in any kind of narrative of Arthurian legend. Not always, but commonly, because it's the good kind of affair to have because it means nobody ever actually kissed or had sex. In this case, like she does, give him a peck on the cheek, but he's not doing anything to her. Everyone keeps their clothes on. It's an emotional affair in the mind, just like to be in love with someone so desperately, but they're just out of reach. You can't actually be with them. Sometimes, let's say in the case of, I mentioned another author of an Arthurian legend piece, Marie de France. It might be because one of the people in that affair is married. And so uh, they're not actually technically committing adultery because this is only an emotional affair. And so he explains that to her. Then we go on to have the third instance, a third hunt, and it's a fox that time. So there's some symbolism you could write about in any of your assignments about the difference of the three animals that are used in the hunt, the deer, the boar, and the fox. A fox is often associated with cleverness and slyness, right? And it is that third time when she comes to visit him that to try to, get a little something out of him, that she offers him a kiss and then a ring. And then she's like, "Well, I bet you'll really want this." And it's called the green girdle. Sometimes you'll see this referred to as a belt or a sash. So this would be like, a long sash you might wrap around your waist. Now, in the end, it's in part four, you're going to see it described as being draped at the hip and over the shoulder. And you see that in a lot of sort of military regalia and such, even to this day. So he is going to accept that because she tells him that the green girdle it has magical powers. It will protect you on this mission you're going to the Green Chapel. And he accepts it. This is very important to the narrative because that whole bargain that Gawain had with the Lord of the Castle of, okay, yeah, I'll give you what I'm gonna let you stay in my castle until you have to take off to the Green Chapel. but you have to give me whatever you obtain in the castle every day because I'm going to give you whatever I obtain in the hunt outside every day. So with the first instance of the lady coming to see Gawain that evening, the lord of the castle, is like, here, we have venison for dinner. This is after the hunting of the deer. And Gawain says, okay, this is great. Thank you. Here's what I got in the castle. And he gives the lord of the castle a kiss on the cheek. And everyone is always like, why did the Lord of the Castle not think this is weird? That's because we do go on to find out he's in on it all in the end. But we'll get to that part when we get to that part. And then the second instance of the hunt and the lady pursuing Gawain, when Gawain and the Lord of the Castle have an exchange, same thing happens. The Lord of the Castle is like, here's dinner, here's what I got in the hunt. And Gawain gives the Lord of the Castle a peck on the cheek. But that third time, Gawain only gives the Lord of the Castle a peck on the cheek, but he's lying. He's being deceptive. He did not share with the Lord of the Castle the green girdle that he took from the lady, which technically, in that verbal contract, he should have. So this means he is lying to the Lord of the Castle. And it's not just about the lie, the deception, it's a flaw in this perfect reputation that has been constructed about Gawain this whole time. It means he accepted that green girdle because he's afraid for his life. He has fear. He's not the perfect, fearless knight of the round table. He's worried about death as much as the average civilian. So this is where we start to have the plot coming to the surface, the sort of plot twist coming up. Okay, that is all for part 3. Please be sure to go on and watch part 4 to wrap up Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Thanks for watching.